We're going to find out about the new Star Wars movie right now because we're with the film critic from Metropolis Magazine, Don Morton. He goes to all the movies, so...
You don't have to.
That's the voice of Mr. Morton. Any spoilers in this report, Don?
No spoilers.
All right. Before we get into Star Wars The Force Awakens, we want to remind you to make your reservations now for a home-cooked Christmas dinners at the Pink Cow. Best burgers in Tokyo at Teddy's. Let's get right to it. So is this Star Wars The Force Awakens everything we hoped it would be?
Well, that depends, does it not, on what you hoped it would be.
What kind of range are we talking about here?
Well, all it really had to do was be better than those three misbegotten prequels. It's like the joke about these two guys around a campfire, and this grizzly bear is threatening them, and one starts to put on his running shoes, and the second guy says to him, "Why are you putting on your running shoes?" He says, "That bear's going to attack us." He says, "Well, you can't outrun a bear." He says, "I don't have to outrun the bear. I only have to outrun you."
And so, is the movie better than your joke?
It's better than the prequels.
Okay.
Yes, of course it is. J.J. Abrams, who's been described as a professional franchise caretaker director. He did Mission Impossible 3, a couple of those Star Trek movies. He's also no fool. He has carefully studied what the fans want as well as what they do not want.
And so what do they not want?
Irritating characters like Jar Jar Binks and Ewoks, repetitious video game sequences, runaway special effects, all the thing that sunk episodes 1 through 3.
And on the upper end of the scale?
Okay, the best it could be would be as good as the 1977 original. And you can see that it's shooting for that, for keeping true to the spirit, the soul of that thoroughly entertaining movie.
And does it keep to the spirit?
Indeed it does.
I sense a but coming on.
But it's so intent on staying true to the original that sometimes it seems more like a remake than a sequel.
Okay, so let's get to the nuts and bolts of this movie. What's good about the new Star Wars movie?
The new young leads are appealing. Daisy Ridley plays Rey, a plucky salvage scavenger on a junk planet who may or may not have some, well, let's call it forceful powers. She's the Luke Skywalker figure of this reboot. And John Boyega is a turncoat stormtrooper named Finn, trying to help out the rebels. Adam Driver, as a Darth Vader fanboy, is less impressive, and the lack of a strong villain is one of the film's weak points.
And the older characters?
You're talking about Han Solo,
Right.
Princess Leia, now General Leia, and Luke Skywalker.
Right.
Terrific casting coup to get these three veterans to reprise their roles nearly 40 years later. Most of the action work goes to Harrison Ford, but Carrie Fisher gives a warm, grandmotherly performance.
And Mark Hamill?
He's in the movie, too.
What do you mean by that? He's in the movie, too.
Well, see the movie and you'll see that he's in the movie is about the only 4 words I can say.
Oh, okay.
Other new characters include the red-hot Oscar Isaacs as a hot X-Wing pilot, and motion capture maestro Andy Serkis, who was Gollum in Lord of the Rings. He's great as the Supreme Leader Snoke.
And what about that cute little soccer ball robot that we're seeing everywhere that's somewhat reminiscent of R2-D2?
He definitely is. He's the BB-8. He's headed for a Christmas stocking near you. I know because I bought 2 in the lobby myself.
That's what we're looking at right here? What else is good about this movie?
The movie is very self-aware in both a retro and a modern sense. It knows it's mainly a legacy movie. Even the new young characters are fans of the historical events in the original trilogy. This is brilliant. It restores the fun to the franchise.
And who's going to like this movie best? Is it a date movie, a movie for the kids, the family?
This is a fan service movie, pure and simple. A greatest hits collection, but it's an honest one. But it loses points for trying too hard to not offend and for emulating the 1997 film so closely. By the time they walked into the cantina, the sense of deja vu was getting very heavy indeed.
Did you notice the music in this movie? Was it a good soundtrack? Or is it a good soundtrack?
Didn't notice too much of the movie. Well, the John Williams score prevails for many of the scenes.
What about the final verdict, Don? What are you saying about this movie?
When I walked out of the Coronet Theater in San Francisco on Geary Street in 1977, I wanted to run and tell all my friends to go see Star Wars. This time I won't do that because, well, they're all going to go see it anyway. But in this one, I never wanted to stand up and cheer. And the most moving scene for me was the sight of the Millennium Falcon rising out of mothballs and soaring off to battle a resurgent dark side. This is a telling point because we're talking about a machine here.
So the new Star Wars movie is a mixed bag?
Yep, it was a tough challenge making this film, and even if it doesn't always fire on all cylinders, it's energetic, it moves forward in hyperdrive, and is, for fans at least, ludicrously entertaining. It is not, however, a masterpiece. You won't leave the theater disappointed, but you won't take much home with you either.
So sum it up in one line.
It delivers everything we expect, but the first film gave us things we never even knew we wanted.
Well said, Mr. Morton.
It delivers everything we expect, but the first film gave us things we never even knew we wanted.
So see it, miss it, what are you recommending?
There's lots worse ways to spend 2.25 hours in a movie theater.
Harrison Ford,
Excellent.
Carrie Fisher,
Adequate.
Mark Hamill, again, come on.
Makes an appearance.
Okay. Don Morton, film critic, thank you very much for joining us here in the Kong Show. If you want a great home-cooked Christmas dinner, where would you make your reservations?
I would go to the Pink Cow and have some of Chef Andy's home-cooked food.
And the best burger in town?
The only burger in town is Teddy's.
Absolutely. Look at this. Oh, I'm ready right now. Teddy's in Harajuku.
You ready, Teddy?
Already. Don Morton, thank you for your first anywhere review of the brand new Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens.
The pleasure is mine.